Your resume can sound professional, organized, and completely believable, and still fail to make anyone want to interview you. This is one of the most frustrating job search problems. You know you have done good work. You know you are qualified, but your resume reads like a calm description of an employee, not like evidence that hiring you would make something better. A resume is not a work history archive. It is a decision document. Its job is to help a recruiter or hiring manager decide, quickly, whether you are worth a conversation. That means your resume must do more than prove you were present. It must prove you created value. Competence language usually sounds like this: managed reports, supported teams, assisted customers, helped with projects. These phrases are not bad. They are clear enough. But they mostly say that you performed normal duties. They do not explain why your work mattered. A resume that sells sounds more specific. It shows the problem, the action, and the useful result. It does not brag wildly. It simply connects your work to an outcome the employer understands, such as faster delivery, fewer errors, happier customers, save time, or stronger revenue support. The person reading your resume is usually not studying it like a book. They are scanning. They are comparing. They are trying to reduce uncertainty. In a few seconds, they want to know what you do, how strong you are, and whether your background matches the role. Here is the problem with a sentence like managed daily operations. It sounds competent, but it is foggy. Daily operations in a two-person office are very different from daily operations across 5 locations, 10 vendors, and thousands of customers. Scope tells the reader how big the work was. It can include team size, budget size, customer volume, territory, product line, number of systems, or frequency. Without scope, the reader has to guess, and when people are busy, they usually guess conservatively. Numbers make invisible work easier to understand. You do not need a dramatic percentage in every bullet. Sometimes a number is simply context. Processed 40 invoices per week. Trained 6 new hires. Supported 3 departments. Numbers help the reader picture the scale of your contribution. Many people think resume results must be revenue, profit, or huge savings. That is not true. Results can be time saved, mistakes reduced, response time improved, compliance maintained, backlog cleared, documentation created, or customers served more consistently. Your resume should translate your tasks into business meaning. If you scheduled meetings, maybe you protected executive time. If you updated spreadsheets, maybe you improved reporting accuracy. If you answered tickets, maybe you reduced customer friction. The task is what you did. The meaning is why it mattered. If this kind of career breakdown is helpful, consider subscribing. The goal here is simple. We take job search advice that usually feels vague and turn it into practical moves you can actually use when you write, apply, and interview. A strong resume answers the quiet question in the hiring manager's mind. What can this person probably do for us? Competence says you can do the job. Persuasive evidence suggests you can improve something, protect something, or make the team stronger. Compare these two ideas. Responsible for onboarding new employees. Now, make it more useful. Created onboarding checklist and trained 12 new hires, helping managers standardize the first week experience. The second version is still honest, but it gives action, scope, and purpose. Action verbs help, but they are not magic. Words like led, built, improved, coordinated, and analyzed are only powerful when they are attached to real substance. A fancy verb cannot rescue an empty bullet. The value comes from the evidence after the verb. Many resumes accidentally copy the job description of the old role. They list duties anyone in that position might have had. But hiring teams are not only asking what the job required, they are asking how you handled it and what changed because you were there. If 10 people had the same title, What would make your version of the job different? Maybe you handled the hardest customers. Maybe you were trusted with reporting. Maybe you improved a process. Maybe you became the person others asked for help. That difference belongs on the resume. Outcome language is language that points beyond the task. Instead of only saying prepared weekly reports, you might say prepared weekly reports that helped leadership track inventory gaps. The improvement may be small, but now the reader understands the purpose of the work. Sometimes you do not know the exact numbers. That does not mean you must stay vague. You can use honest approximations when appropriate, or describe frequency, volume, and audience. Monthly, cross-functional, executive level, high volume, and multi-site can all add useful context when they are true. Do not invent metrics. A resume loses power when it feels inflated. If you cannot prove a number or comfortably explain it in an interview, do not use it. Strong resumes are persuasive because they are concrete and credible, not because every bullet sounds dramatic. Think of each bullet as climbing an evidence ladder. At the bottom is a duty. Above that is an action. Above that is scope. Above that is result. The higher your bullet climbs, the easier it is for a reader to believe you can create value again. A resume also needs to be clear for systems and humans. Many employers use applicant tracking systems to store, search, and organize applications. That means your resume should use recognizable job titles, skills, tools, and keywords that match the role, without stuffing in terms you do not actually have. ATS-friendly does not mean tricking a robot. It usually means your information is easy to parse and easy to search. Use straightforward section headings, simple formatting, clear dates, and normal skill names. The same clarity that helps software also helps a tired human reader. If a job posting asks for customer relationship management and your resume only says client database, a match may be missed. Use the employer's language when it is accurate. This is not copying, it is translation. You are helping the reader see that your experience connects to their need. A resume is not a place to include everything you have ever done. It is a place to select the most relevant evidence. For each role you apply to, ask what the employer is really hiring for. Then make the strongest matching evidence easiest to find. The top third of your resume does a lot of work. It sets the frame. A focused summary, a relevant skills section, or a strong first role can tell the reader what lens to use. If the top is generic, the rest of the resume has to fight harder. A weak summary says you are hardworking, detail-oriented, and a team player. Those qualities may be true, but they are hard to verify. A stronger summary names your function, level, tools, industry context, or type of value. It gives the reader a map, not a motivational poster. Instead of saying excellent communicator, show communication in action. Presented findings to senior leaders. Wrote process guides for new staff. Resolved customer issues across phone, email, and chat. Proof is more believable than adjectives because it lets the reader reach the conclusion themselves. If you are early in your career, you can still sell your value. Projects, internships, volunteer work, coursework, and part-time jobs can show scope and outcomes. The key is to connect what you did to a real need, even if the setting was small. If you are experienced, the danger's different. You may have too much information. A senior resume should not read like a complete autobiography. It should show patterns of leadership, decision-making, scale, and impact. The reader should quickly see what level of problems you can handle. Strong bullets are usually compact. Start with the action. Add the object of the work. Add scope or results when you can. If a bullet takes 5 lines to explain one idea, the point may get buried. Clarity is part of persuasion. Here is a simple test. If a hiring manager pointed to a bullet and asked, "Tell me about this. Could you give a clear story?" If yes, the bullet probably has real evidence behind it. If no, it may be filler, jargon, or borrowed language. To rewrite a weak bullet, ask 4 questions. What did I do? Who or what was affected? How big was it? What improved, changed, stayed on track, or became easier? You do not need every answer every time, but each answer adds selling power. Take a basic bullet, like helped with inventory. Now ask the questions. What did you do? Reconciled stock counts. How often? Weekly. What changed? Fewer missing items and better reorder timing. A stronger version might be reconciled weekly inventory counts to improve reorder accuracy and reduce stock gaps. Selling yourself does not mean exaggerating. It means reducing doubt. You are giving the reader enough clear evidence to imagine you doing useful work on their team. A resume that sells is not louder than a competent resume. It is sharper, more specific, and easier to believe. If your resume sounds competent but does not sell, do not start by adding buzzwords. Start by adding meaning. Show scope. Show outcomes. Use the employer's language. Make the strongest evidence easy to find. That is how a resume moves from describing your past to opening a door. If you want, leave a comment with one resume bullet you are struggling with, and we can turn it into a stronger version in a future video. You can also suggest the next career topic you want explained in this same practical style.